Well, Shimano are in the news again, or should I say, they've put out a recall. And the recall is regarding a part of the bike that's actually pretty critical to safety. And it's a part that we normally would consider would be a more safe option when we're riding our bikes. And what it is to do with the front of the bike and the stem of the bike. So let's roll an intro and let's have a bit of a talk about and highlight what you need to look for and check your bike when it comes to this recall. Well, what it's to do with, it's to do with their Pro range. Now, Shimano have their normal range where they have Shimano written on it, and then they have what they call it's like their specific or their better range, and it's under Pro, P-R-O, and this is particularly relating to the product that's under the name Vibe Pro, and what it is it's a stem, the stem that goes from the steerer tube out to the handlebars, and it's actually an aluminium one, not a carbon one we're talking about in this instance. And what's been happening is that it starts to fatigue and it can fail whilst riding. So that's the big concern. You can end up on the tarmac probably seriously injured, or if it happens or breaks just at the wrong time, you could end up running into a car or something, or even be, finished on this planet. But what they've done is they've done the right thing. They've identified it and they've got a recall on. So go and check your bike if you've got one of these Pro handlebars. I'll put the notice up here. If you can get the notice, it has a lot of detail because depending on the model and the year and everything like that, some are affected, some aren't affected. So you need to check out your handlebar very carefully. And the biggest problem with this is normally when we have aluminium stuff, you can check it. It either corrodes or it starts to fatigue, and you can see that. So that's one really good thing about aluminium. It's not like carbon where it just looks fine and then the next moment it breaks. And that's why we generally like to choose aluminium over carbon for certain products. But in this case, where it's fatiguing is underneath. It's in a place where you normally wouldn't look, and you could miss it when you're just eyeing over your bike. And this is one of the reasons why it's so dangerous, this particular fail point, because you might miss it. So what you need to do is you need to take it off and you turn it over and you need to check certain parts of it. And it tells you how to do that in the recall. So if you've got one of these stems, a Pro stem on your bike, make sure you track down the recall notice and go through it very, very carefully, because it's a bit complicated the way it goes. It's like the year, and then there's specific different models, and if it's got this, it doesn't come in, and then the other one, it does come in. So you need to read it very, very carefully. And as far as I'm aware, Shimano are going to replace those for you. So that's a great thing, and they've come out and did that. But it does put a question mark over a lot of the products. There has been quite a lot of recalls in recent times, and they don't obviously advertise them. You don't see them in the normal magazine type YouTube channels, because obviously it's a negative take on the product. So what they do is they tend to send them out individually to the people, or they just put them on something that meets the consumer body that's in that country. So it's not like they get out there and advertise it. They might put it in the paper or something like that, but they're not going to put it on any of these type of magazine online stores, which generally advertise the products as, hey, come and buy this product because it's great. So then you put up one of these things that's negative advertising. But the good thing is I'm not in that scheme. I just tell it how it is. I'm not someone here who's trying to make money out of it. This is just a hobby YouTube channel that I've got. So I'm just here and I can put that out and I just say what I think. So what you get from me is my opinion, my honest opinion, and you don't get any untruths because I've got someone putting money in my top pocket. But anyway, I will check out the link, and I'll put the link down below in the description so you can check that out if you have one of these stems on your bike, which is made by Shimano under the name Pro. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. That's where I'm going to leave it for today, because this is basically a safety awareness video. And get out there, check your bike if that's the case, if it applies to you. Please don't ride your bike because there's a stop right on it. It's a real safety issue. If the handlebar fails, you really can be seriously injured. Okay, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it, and I will see you next vid.